I think this scene right here is going to cause a lot of confusion. I think that's intentionally done because when you see childhood friend-like characters, often it's like, okay, if there's multiple of them, one's gonna love, one's gonna be family. And if we remember some of the dialogue towards Takt, in terms of what he felt towards them, he's basically explained them that Cosette and Anna were pretty much people who checked in on him after his father died and, everything like that. Like, it was just very much an assuming situation, I think, for us, because you're like, okay, after we see more of it, Cosette and Takt, they were developing some kind of romantic feelings, and Big Sister Anna is just Big Sister Anna. And it's very possible Anna doesn't necessarily have romantic feelings for Takt, but I have to say, that situation, that kiss, that unexpected goodbye kiss, might be one of the most natural reactions in the face of life or death, because it's very possible that if Takt came out of that situation and was able to live, she may not have romantic feelings for Takt, but she also could. It's hard to say, because watching the show, you just naturally assume Big Sister Anna is also Big Sister Anna for Takt, especially because she kind of was like almost the wingman for Destiny and Takt in terms of that date. But when you're faced with a predicament where you realize this could very well be the last time you ever see them, there's a lot of emotions that could very well pop up and you yourself don't even understand, like she mentioned in this episode. She says, I have no idea why I did that, just come back alive. That is a genuine reaction that if you knew someone for that long, and they weren't necessarily family, it was more of there was big sister elements, but it wasn't necessarily like she was his sister. I mean, it's something that's pretty natural, realizing that, looking at him, realizing how shitty he looks, I mean, he ain't coming back. I mean, it'd be a miracle if Takt came back. So that final goodbye, just, those emotions, maybe she herself didn't even realize and has been lying about her own emotions, or maybe it was just a heat of the moment thing. And while it's definitely confusing for the characters and the viewer, that's exactly how a real situation involving life or death with someone you've known for so long very well could go. And I have to commend the show for kind of going that direction. I really wasn't expecting that, and to see how actually flustered Takt was about it, probably questioning his own feelings about what he feels, as you had that cute back and forth bickering with Destiny pretty much poking fun about why he's, so quiet. I mean, the jealousy was kind of cute. It's one of those things I really appreciate. I'm sure it's going to probably get a mixed response in terms of the community's opinion, like either, holy shit, best character ever, she just completely switched the sails of which ship we're on, to what the hell, that came out of nowhere. But that's really realistic when you think about it for a life or death situation involving characters who aren't actually family, but confused about maybe how they feel, or just recognizing that could be the final farewell and maybe a hug's not going to cut it. In terms of the episode though, I mean, this definitely felt like a final goodbye even before the kiss happened. It was pretty cool to see all the different music arts and just the different weaponry and designs. I thought that was a nice little touch to show when everything was going on, the building was exploding, all these crystals going crazy, you saw a very good variety of kind of the personal guards trying to push back against it, as the man in charge seemingly has a death wish. At this point, yeah, it kind of does feel like maybe he's just evil for the sake of being evil, which maybe isn't enough for some people, but I'll leave it until next week to see maybe what his opinions are about what he's doing here, which very well could touch up on something that maybe is a little more generic, so we'll wait and see where that goes. But in terms of the action, I mean, it's no surprise that Valkyrie popped back up. The most surprising aspect was that she got knocked out when she was bitching about Takt being there, and then you just have Titan knock her right out. The most unexpected element in terms of the action was when heaven and hell actually merged into one. At first, I thought what was happening was it was almost like a suicide pact, that someone like Heaven wasn't going to survive. Hell very much cares for her sister, sort of a thing, so they're just going to die together. Nope, and apparently with that kind of the thing that makes the sound, it can merge them into one, and honestly, from design to just already getting a taste of the personality, if there has to be a final boss, I'm glad they're not just reusing Heaven and Hell as we've seen before. You gotta do something a bit bigger, because once you defeat her, I mean, it doesn't feel like the man in charge here is gonna be much of a fight. You could probably take him out very quickly, but then again, if our boy is very much dragging himself to the floor, I'm kind of thinking of a Mass Effect 3 situation. If you know the game, the characters very much when they're getting to the that final destination, they're worn out. They're looking battered and bruised. So I could very much see a similar situation with Takt just dragging himself, confronting this man with one final push. So that could be pretty cool as well, especially given that this character seems like she's going to put up a mad fight. And honestly, I would be shocked if Takt makes it out of this one alive. I really, really have to say that. He just doesn't feel like he can. Could someone like Destiny? Potentially, but I feel like thinking about the character pairings, who would be the most okay if they ended up dead but then had other people to support. If Destiny ended up dead, you could very well see a nice situation with Takt and Anna in terms of where they go there. You could also see it with Anna and Destiny, but it just feels like Takt's gonna go out. It just feels like they're directing it. He's even like okay with him. The fact that he's fighting for music, and he has this really great speech about the idea of protecting music and how he thought he was the only one ever doing it, but across his journey reflecting on how everyone makes his music and just seeing the different people from the bar to even Anna herself. It really does go to show how much this boy's evolved. I mean, I wasn't expecting this type of character development for Takt compared to how he started off. I like his kind of cool, calm, and collected demeanor, but I wasn't expecting him to develop this in such a human way. I mean, there's these subtle reactions to show how much more happy he is, even in the face of losing his life more and more. Even if he got out of the situation okay, he's probably going to have a day left to live. Like, it just doesn't feel like he has enough life energy to keep going. And they start the episode off talking about freezing him, then hopefully maybe curing him. So maybe that's a possibility, right? What if they go the direction of they finish the battle, they save the day, he has like a day left to live based on all the corruption going on. They freeze him. 50 years from now, when Anna and Destiny, all of them are so old, they wake him up and they could cure him. Like, that would be pretty painful, all things considered. So maybe they would want to put Destiny with him so he would have someone to wake up with. I don't know. But, like, there's definitely a way to, like, save him given what they've been setting up, but it definitely is pointing towards a very heartbreaking ending. But I think that would be okay as long as we get to hear a song before those credits start playing, whether another person plays it in kind of like respect. If, you know, Takt gives his life, they play his song because now they can have music in the world. There's a lot of different ways they can go about it. This episode was chock full of action and very much like some sweet moments, but surrounded by so many painful moments. Like, sure, there's a lot of characters that maybe like Valkyrie as an example, oh, she's going to be a lot more important. But I mean, at this point, really just seeing all the different music arts and the ones that we've already kind of completed their arc with, seeing Takt at that one moment control all three was a really cool, really presentation moment. Just seeing him say, you do this, you do this, you do this, knowing it's wounding him so much, but he's just like the perfect man for the job, the maestro who could really bring about this tower's destruction. And that's what I really like about it, especially that horror scene where you had Anna and her sister just trying to like go down these creepy Resident Evil corridors as you have these giant beasts eating humans. I mean, there's not much you can do, especially with one of them not able to use their legs. I mean, that was some pretty frightening shit. And had our girl not popped up to save the day, Anna literally would have lost her head, and that would have been so heartbreaking given we would have been able to get all the stuff we got afterwards with her character and Takt. But, I mean, I love the show. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's been a consistently great show from episode 1 all the way to here. The big make it or break it for me will be if in next week's episode, is there going to be a bit more elaboration on the big bad's plan? If not, it's a little disappointing, but it still serves a purpose for everything else that we've seen. It's just if they give that extra oomph, that extra layer, we'll cement it into an amazing show, not just a great show by the time it wraps up. But either way, I mean, you know me, I've been talking about this show every week, and I've been enjoying it, even when the community was up in arms about whether Mappa episodes or Madhouse episodes are better than the other. The show has just been good through and through, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to wrap up in the... I think it's one more episode left, maybe 2 more. It's hard to say, because some sites don't actually list the episode counts, but it's pretty much confirmed that it's a 1 core, so we'll see how it wraps up, right? Let me know your thoughts, feelings down below. A lot to discuss. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.